Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. So this is my first video and this is a question that I see people get confused about quite a lot. Whether they should diet or cut, or whether they should bulk or gain muscle tissue. So there's a couple of things we want to think about, and the main one is where your body fat percentage is at the minute. So if you're a male and you're over 10 to 15% body fat, or if you're female and you're over 15 to 20% body fat, then you probably want to cut first. Yeah? And the reason being is that you want to get down to this body fat level so your body's more responsive, so you're more insulin sensitive, which basically means that the lower body fat percentage you are to a certain degree, the more absorbent your body is going to be to nutrients, the more reactive your cells are going to be, and the more absorbent they're going to be based around our digestive health and our insulin sensitivity. So if you are above that body fat percentage, you want to you're probably thinking like, how do I know if I am? So go to a body fat image chart online. So search in Google male body fat image chart and it'll come up, and same with female, and compare your current physique to the percentages on that body fat image chart. And if you're above that body fat percentage, we want to aim to get down to these body fat percentages. So if you're a male, you want to aim to get down to 10 to 15%. I'd probably say more around the 15% marker, but if you want to go down to 10%, then that's fine. You don't really want to go any lower than this, just based around that hormone levels will start to decline the leaner that somebody gets, yeah? And if you're a female, you want to get down to around about 15 to 20%, right? So you might be thinking, how come the female is higher than male? Females naturally carry more body fat and need to. So the reason for this is mainly because of the menstrual cycle and the reproductive cycle. Females need more body fat in order to produce a baby, etc. With males, we can get away with going a little bit lower. So if we're not 10 to 15% or 15 to 20%, what we need to do is diet for 12 to 16 weeks, and we want to kind of go at a 20% calorie deficit. So I'll say a caveat to this: if you're an experienced dieter and you've dieted before and you've done successful dieting periods, then you could probably go a bit harsher than 20%, and you could probably go a bit shorter than 12 to 16 weeks. But if you've not really dieted before, you've never really had a coach and someone to guide you, then I'd just go a 20% calorie deficit, and I'd do this for 12 to 16 weeks. In that amount of time, a 20% deficit, depending on your starting body weight, you want to aim to probably pull off around about 1% of your body weight each week, right? So say if you're a 200-pound person, 1% of 200 pound is 2 pounds. So you want to aim to pull off 2 pounds per week for that amount of time. If you're in a more aggressive deficit, you might pull off a little bit more than that. So as long as we're pulling off that 1 to 2 pound marker, we're happy. And we want to do this for the full 12 to 16 week duration. Then after that, what you want to do is you want to assess your body fat levels. How much closer are you to these different body fat targets? How closer are you? You want to do 2 weeks at maintenance calories then, after this first 12 to 16 week dieting block. Why do we do this? So we do this to give you a diet break, give your body a bit of a rest, to recover the body, so we kind of mitigate any fatigue that's built up over the dieting phase. And obviously what we can also do is kind of recharge our body and give it a bit of rest and recovery, give ourselves a mental break from dieting as well, because 12 to 16 weeks can get a long time, especially when you're restricting food and you're feeling a little bit more hungrier. And then after this 2 weeks at maintenance calories and you've assessed where your body fat is currently at, you obviously want to maintain your weight here. Let me just add that. You don't just go at 2 weeks at just eating whatever you want. You go for 2 weeks at eating maintenance calories of good quality nutritious foods. Then you repeat this cycle of dieting for 12 to 16 weeks with 2 weeks maintenance on repeat up until you hit one of these body fat percentages, depending whether you're male or female. So that is how you would then go into an improvement or a bulking phase. We don't really like the word bulk anymore. It's kind of more of a, it sounds a bit like masculine. So like females, and males, it's just more of an improvement phase. We want to gain some muscle tissue here. Here we want to maintain our muscle tissue and lose body fat. Yeah. So we repeat this until we get to these body fat percentages, and then we go into an improvement phase. So I'm going to be doing another video on an improvement phase, so stay tuned for that. But to round up on the whole, if you're male, you want to be 10 to 15% until you go into a gaining phase. If you're female, you want to be 15 to 20% until you go into an improvement phase or gaining phase. If you're not, and you're above 10 to 15% if you're a male, what you want to do is you want to do a 12 to 16 week diet, a 20% calorie deficit followed by 2 weeks at maintenance calories. Assess your body fat level, how close are you to this or how far are you away, and then repeat this cycle until you hit one in between these body fat levels. And the same goes for a female. So if you're not 15 to 20%, you do 12 to 16 weeks of a dieting phase at 20% calorie deficit, you do 2 weeks at maintenance calories, and you repeat this cycle until you're 15 to 20%. So that's how to know whether you should cut or bulk. So if you enjoyed this video, share it to a friend. Follow me on Instagram. So my name's Nathan_Transcend, and I'll be producing more videos like this.